Yo, welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Bilal Arashidi. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can rob a bank, make a fuck ton of money, and not get arrested in the process. Completely joking. No, but for real, I'm going to show you guys how to make your first 10K online without having any prior work experience, without having any age restrictions, and ultimately without really knowing what the fuck you're doing, because it's that easy. So let's jump right into here. And I'm going to show you guys a client that I made $16,000 with, or it was $16,858 in 5 days working with a singular client, and inputting less than 8 hours total, leveraging AI for a lot of the process. So let's dive right into here. So in this model that we're talking about, it's the RSP model, where you jump into businesses, whether they're info coaches, creators, or e-com brands, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And you basically step in as a growth partner, and in return, you get a percentage of equity from the systems that you're actually operating within that business. So it's going to be funnels, it's going to be CRMs, it's going to be a bunch of different automations and tech stacks, and then a sales team to power that. And you'll basically be getting a percentage off of that business as a partner, rather than like some sort of like sales rep or VA or something. Every sale that processes through that company and that system that you developed, you basically get a cut out of it. And businesses are actually more than happy to pay you this, because most of these guys are experts in what it is that they're selling, or experts in the content that they're making, but not actually experts when it comes to sales and marketing. And that's where you step in and you can make a lot of money. So jumping into here, initial steps, and these are 4 basic steps. And we're going to go pretty in depth into every single one. But to start out in this business model, you basically have to prospect and find gold. So there's bad clients and there's good clients, and diving deeper, you'll be able to understand these as you kind of get some experience in the game. But we found gold with this specific client. From there, we have to utilize the shank strategies in the DMs, which is basically where we go in, we blindfold people and we put them in the back of a truck, and then we put a gun to their head and make sure that they sign our contract and pay us. And so we call that the shank strategy. From there, once they sign that contract, we basically decide to not shoot them in the head, and we laugh to the bank because they just signed away part of their business. So it's a pretty cool strategy. Now I got to show you guys how to do that without necessarily going to jail. And so that's going to be the next step. But after signing the client, the onboarding checklist looks like this. So day 1, we'll basically send a VSL script, which is a video sales letter, basically delivering who she is. It's going to be, basically like an authority / credibility pitch. Then from there, obviously hook, then credibility pitch. Then it's going to be value pitch. Then it's going to be like testimonial pitch, which you can do for nurture. And then from there, it's going to be CTA. So it's very simple. You'll send that within day 1, submit A2P, which allows them to get texting, and then a bunch of different stuff, setting up close, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. On day 2, once you have a majority of the tech stack set up, then you're going to go and start plotting. So you need payment processors, you're going to need EOD forms, Airtable, Looker Studio for tracking, and you're still going to be developing sales team, like the sales team hiring setters, closers, etc. during the process. Then by day 3, you're developing SOPs, sales scripts, frameworks, etc., training your teams, setting up smart views, setting expectations, and connecting the whole machine so that your leads can start being input into the CRM and your sales team can start making cash. By day 4, you should have a team onboarded, and this is just how we operate at Monetizer. We're typically really quick because we have a lot of resources. Now for you coming into here, your timeline is going to be about 3 to 4x this. So it could take you a week or 2 to get a client fully up and ramped up. But by the time you get them ramped up, you start making money, and you can invoice by the end of the month. So that's how we've been able to set up Monetizer. Typically how we set it up is 2 closers or 2 setters per closer, or you could do like 5 closers, 3 setters, depending on how big the offer is. But this is how we set up Kayla so that we could actually crush. We needed 3 closers and 5 setters just based off the lead flow that we were getting. Now from there, the funnel that we set up is a VSL to application funnel. And so what we do is basically big CTA, VSL, which is that video sales letter explaining who she is, how she can help, different testimonials, and then like a CTA. People then go and apply. There's testimonials on the website to nurture. In that type form, we're asking just basic questions. These are building urgency and pain throughout the questions to kind of build that buyer intent and make sure that once they apply, they kind of have a clear vision of what they're trying to get out of this system or product. From there, then we basically have a text basically saying, hey, we received your application. My team's going to reach out to you soon, acting like it's from the actual creator, themselves. And then they'll basically respond, okay, thanks. And that basically gets them amped up. From there, setter is expected to call within the first 5 minutes of applying, qualifies the lead based off intent, money saved, and urgency. If the lead is qualified, then we push that call immediately. So we'll basically ask them, hey, what's your schedule look like today? If they're available right now, then we try to get them on a closing call immediately. And that is the recipe to print cash with a big brand, or a big creator who has enough lead flow to run a VSL application funnel and doesn't necessarily need too much nurture. So that's the funnel that we ran. From there, you can kind of see day one's results was about 10K, just getting the team ramped up. Second day was about 23. Day 3 was 24,000. Day 4 was 18,000. And day 5 was 8,000. So every single one of these days paid us out pretty grossly. So we had 2K, 5K, another 5K day, another 4K day, and then a $1,600 day for my agency. And so that basically paid me out. Within those 5 days, $16,858 for doing a little bit of work in the first couple days. But ultimately from there, just having to be pretty effortless. And you can see how excited she was, right? Break the bank, there's more cash coming in tonight. And she's saying, how are you guys so good at this? What type of sorcery do you use? The truth of the matter is we've been in so many different teams and we've been doing this for so long that we know exactly what works based on lead archetype and the actual offer that we're running. And so we basically, that's all. That's basically that. So jumping into here, I guess there's the 3 steps. First step is going to be actual prospecting, for understanding what's a good client, what's a bad client, who should I reach out to, who should I not reach out to, then understanding how do I reach out to them, and then how to actually close those deals and fulfill from that behalf. So jumping into here, you'll see that we basically have a pretty thorough understanding of what a gold mine opportunity is for an RSP, and what's not. So jumping into here, you can see some of the commissions that we've gotten, 42K, or not commissions, but like rev share payouts, 42K, another 42K, 24,000 right there, another 45K. And all of these are this year, 120,000. This was a transfer, wire transfer that we had to screenshot. So you can see, like, we obviously make money doing what we talk about, and we know, what we're doing. We've been in the game for so long that it's hard for us to kind of just yap and not really know what works versus what doesn't. But coming into here, based off the clients that we've signed, which we've almost worked with over 20 at this point, these are the best clients that you can work with, right? There's trading offer, there's make money offers, e-com offers, and real estate. We've worked with Mamba FX. We know a lot of guys from Cardinals team, so we have a lot of insight on that end. Nathan Nazareth, one of our buddies, used to work with him, and then Anthony Ucci was one of our clients as well. But in the trading niche, you have high perceived value, higher price tolerance. Most educators lack back-end systems. It's usually chaos behind the scenes, like literally just a Discord link, small, low ticket community, and they don't necessarily know how to monetize off the high ticket. But the buyers are very emotional. They know that they can make a lot of money. They know that their income is uncapped, and they don't have to deal with individuals. So there's a lot of intent behind people wanting to become successful traders. Other make money offers, it's a direct ROI in the selling procedure, so you can sell them a lot harder. It's an easy sell, unlimited market demand. E-com, same exact thing. And then real estate is the exact same thing. There's a lot of real estate agents that don't know what they're doing, and they wish that they could make it their full-time income. Now, on the other hand, poverty niches, you got dating. Dating, there's a lot of successful dating offers. Thing is, if you don't have experience and you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna fail. Stay away from dating offers if you're not willing to actually put in the work to learn. It's not gonna be as fruitful as you think it will be, and it takes a lot of different tweaks and positioning changes to actually get it to crack. Now, on the other hand, breath work. There is some breath work coaches that make money. Majority don't. Stay away. Fitness. Brandon Hendrickson is one of our clients. He had 1.2 million followers and shit engagement, and it was really hard to sell anyone on there. I think he bought it all of his followers, but it just wasn't ideal. And then the woo-woo offers, right? You got I guess like breath work, but you got like the yoga and like mindset training and like all this weird shit that just stay away from it. If you can't necessarily understand or see the value in it, it's gonna be hard for you to push that organically and like make some certain cash. Now, if you're like a guru when it comes to ads and you know exactly how to market things, then that could be a different story. But typically stay away from those. Now, once you analyze, a trading coach or a make money coach or an e-com coach or real estate coach, then from there, we have to start the shanking procedure, right? And this is my boy Scream. So this is you basically getting your knife and getting ready to stab the fuck out of someone. So step one, before any call takes place, is do your due diligence and conduct a pre-call audit. Whoa, wait, hold on. Cool. So from there, once you analyze that, trading off, the make money offers are the ones that are going to pay you actual bread. Now it's how do we land those clients and actually get them to work with us? So I can show you some of the different texts that we've been sending. So, we'll basically respond to people's stories, say, hey, what's up, brother? Let's chat. Hey, what's going on, man? And then we basically just give them like a big testimonial storyline, something like that. Then, he kind of sent back a screenshot showing us, what he's doing organic. And we book that call, and that leads to invoices once we actually get them signed and get them scaled. On the contrary, right, it's like super typical conversational shit, nothing too crazy. As you can see here, hey bro, yo bro, what's up, right? You pitch a bunch of testimonials. He says, send me proof. You send him the proof, and then you basically just, book a call from that end. And so it's super simple, but he sent his phone number. We should probably block that out, but it is what it is. And then, you can see right here, similar thing, email invite sent, just very conversational. You leverage all these testimonials and case studies, and voice notes. Now, for a lot of you guys, you're not going to have these case studies and testimonials. So what you want to leverage is the actual system and how you can improve their business. And you can utilize ChatGPT to come up with responses for that. So then you basically send like a yo-yo text, or you basically tell them, hey, like, what's good, bro? Or, tell me more about your mentorship. They're always going to respond to that. Then once you get that response, send a voice note, basically saying, hey, you seem like you know what you're doing. You've been smacking me with your content. But at the same time, I'm seeing 3 to 4 things that are completely holding you back from being able to unlock at least another $300,000 to $400,000 by the end of this year for your high ticket program. And what I'm seeing, and then you actually state 2 to 3 things that they're doing wrong and how you'd go about improving it. And they'd be like, hey, but at the end of the day, dude, I'm not here to kind of like shit on what you're doing. You're obviously a killer. But if you think that, you potentially might need a little bit of assistance to get you to that point, go ahead and just respond to this, man. I'd love to get on a call. So that's that. And then you obviously got referrals. Once you close your first client, it becomes easy to get referrals if you actually perform and you do well. And then there's the backdoor shit where you basically come into sales reps and you act like a sales rep, or you get hired as a sales rep, or you talk to the sales reps on the team, and you just basically use that to get in contact with the business owner, and from there you try to shank them by getting on a call. All these methods work, and we've used every single one of them time and time again. Like landing big clients that you guys probably see on your social media every single day that pay us out multi 5 figures, 30K, 50K, etc. plus. And so this is exactly what you have to do. Once you niche down, start using, utilizing outreach, sending voice notes, sending yo-yo, sending like these simple first messages. And then from there, once you start booking calls, this is the secret for you to shank every single person that shows up on your call. And so this is my boy Scream. Me and Scream have a lot of things alike. We basically find people, hunt them down, and then shank them in the neck and make sure that they give us our money that they owe us. So step one before any call takes place is doing your due diligence and conducting a pre-call audit, right? What is a pre-call audit, you might ask? To keep it brief, it's funnel hacking. What is funnel hacking? It's going through a business funnel acting as if you're a buying prospect. So most people that sell info have horrible funnels. They have shit systems and shit sales teams to go alongside it. So what you're gonna do is leverage that before you even show up on a call. Go through the funnel, book a call, talk to the closer, talk to the setter, and pinpoint all the different shit that they do wrong, and use that as leverage once you get on that call with that creator, right? Then make a Google Doc or a Notion or a Miro as this, and basically utilize that to be able to get them across the line. So now that you're actually on the closing call and you're looking at the creator face to face, your nerves are going, your blood's pumping, and your adrenaline is rushing. So what you want to do is frame yourself on that call, right? You're the expert. This is not your first rodeo. You know an exact problem that they have, and you have the solution for it, and you've done it for top people in the space. This authority is basically going to allow you to stop asking for permission and stop looking like a pussy on that call. Because if you look like a pussy, they're not going to want to work with you. So you want to come in with full confidence that it's their loss if they don't work with you. Don't be the beggar on the corner with your hand out. Fuck them, because you can always get another call. If you literally sent a couple of DMs and closed, and got them on a call, you can do it over and over and over and over again, right? It's the idea of like, hey, if I can make 10K, you can make 100K. So it's the same exact thing. So once you frame that call, you basically come in, hey, this is just gonna be a quick chat. I just wanna ask you some questions to understand where you currently are and where you're trying to go, right? If I feel like I can 100% bridge that gap, I'll tell you exactly how we'll do so and see if there's any alignment on that end. And honestly, after hearing certain metrics in your biz, I'll know very quickly if it's something that even makes sense for me, so let's get into it. And for a lot of you guys watching this, you may be a closer already, or you might have watched a sales call or something like that on your feed. So use a natural closing frame and try to hold that within that call. So you're obviously going to start out with discovery questions. Some of you guys who aren't in sales aren't going to know what that means, but it's basically just auditing questions. How much revenue are they doing? What's the current team size? What does the funnel look like? What bottlenecks do they think they have? And then why do they feel like they're being held back from reaching XYZ, 100K a month, 200K a month, 500K a month? And then what they try to fix it and what their current profit margins look like, so that when you're pitching rev share, it's actually a number that makes sense. And none of this has to be in a specific order, right? It's literally just conversational, just lay back, chill out, breathe, and just treat it as a normal conversation, right? As they're telling you all the things that they're missing out on, make them realize that the problem is bigger than they think, and waiting is costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So then you want to present the problem. After they told you what they think the issue is, right, you want to outline everything that you found in your pre-call audit, which is way more than what they've even known, because they haven't, been through the funnel, as an actual lead, being called by their sales rep, being called by the closer. And so they don't know the depths of how shit their system is, right? So everything that you found in that pre-call audit, you want to blow it up in their face, basically just scare them that their shit's fucked, right? So every little thing you found that was leaking the funnel, you present and ask questions like, was there any specific reason you guys don't book calls the same day? Is there any reason why you guys didn't offer me financing when I was going through the funnel? Like a bunch of different small things that literally leave thousands of dollars on the table. And so this is the most crucial step, as it's the stage where the deal is either won or lost. If you can't provide enough proof, value, pain, there's no intent for them to pay you 5K, 10K, whatever it is set up front, right? And so you want to do your best to inflate their issues. And some simple questions to ask is, how do you guys currently track and enforce KPIs between closers and setters, right? How much have you guys grown from last month to this month? How do you feel like there's smaller people in the space making more than you are with less engagement? Is this even a big priority for you to get scaled to insane heights, and why? Right? So these are all pain building questions that are going to allow the creator to open up and give you insight on where they're trying to go, right? So then you want to provide the solution, right? So the solution is based off issues you found in their funnel. And it could be, a financial quality type form that's causing too much sales resistance and not allowing them to captivate enough leads into their funnel to convert at a high rate. Maybe a direct Calendly booking link without setters trying to push those calls sooner. And so what they're having is a bunch of no-shows later in the week. Maybe it's a shitty lander in a shitty funnel that's not converting as high as it could be. Could be worse setters and worse closers, as if they can't sell, they're never going to be able to convert at a high level. Poor CTA on stories for apps, low intent content, not enough free value, impossible to scale, owners taking closing calls so he's capped at a certain income, and completely opposite of what successful funnels are doing, right? So once you can throw all this on the table, you're basically set up for success, right? The point here is we want them to realize that with the current process, it'd be a miracle for them to scale hard. And the thing is, miracles do not happen in info, so we got to fix it. Then you go for the shank, and now you have two options. You either shank them on that call with a proposition that makes sense, or you set them up on a second call where you come up with a proposal and you figure out exactly what you want to pitch them. So that's basically that. Then jumping into here, I'm gonna show you guys that 4-week plan that's gonna get you guys to success. So week 1, I want you to basically come in here and realize that 10K a month with this business model is easy. The first week, you should be balls deep into learning info product funnels and system processes and understanding different niche strategies for acquisition and the whole 9. It's time for you to stop thinking like a rep or an employee and understand the hunger of an RSP, right? Week 2, now that you're slowly understanding who sucks and needs help, which is mostly everyone in the space, we need you to start building your dream client list, right? Obviously, everyone wants the TGR and the Mamba effects, but you can't have them, so don't waste time. Find the small creators with big, low-ticket communities that can easily capitalize off of them, and ultimately just look at who has bad systems but good potential and good engagement. That's where you're gonna make the most money, right? Once you build this list, it's time to get creative, and I want you to start ultimately finding setters, finding closers, find managers, and scratch and claw while doing your DMs at anything, trying to get a conversation going with these business owners, right? Within that same week, you want to start doing your outreach. You want to start seeing what's working, what's getting you first responses, what's not. Send Loom videos, try different things, ask different questions, and basically just try to get in front of people, right? Because you're literally one step away from that 10K a month mark. All it takes is one 5K setup and a 15% rev share, and you'll make 10K a month consistently, right? So don't stop seconds before the finish line. Let's keep pushing, right? So by week 3, you should have gotten a few closing calls already. And honestly, in this process, it's super simple. Most creators that you get on a call with will close immediately. Maybe the setups might be a little bit harder to close, but if you just pitch a rev share, majority of creators will take it. And so at this point in time, some of you guys may have already closed your first client, some might have closed 2. And so now it's time to fulfill and get your check, right? So you want to keep building off your closing calls, grabbing business assets and cooking hard, and find your edge and leverage it. Then you just start fulfilling. Hire your setters, hire your closers, build the CRM, build the automations, and start collecting your rev share or your setup fee, depending on what you went for. But that's the basic system. It's nothing too crazy. And we teach this at a very high level in my community called The Reserve. And I'll show you guys, we've had a lot of people do the same exact thing and close insane deals and make 10K in their first month in this process. So, we got this guy Tack 2 days ago. He closed a 10K setup at 15% profit share, and it's a company doing $10 million a year, which is approximately $1 million a month. It's about 800,000, but they have 80% margins, and they just squeezed him in at 15%, which is insane. Another person, he signed 2 mini whales, right? And now he's at 4 clients in 4 weeks. Completely new to the business model. He's actually an 18-year-old, and he joins the coaching calls in high school, in his high school classroom. Insane. James, he made 11K his last month from his first full month consulting in the door-to-door niche. He did 16K altogether between that and his closing part-time role. Now he's going to position completely into this full-time and hopefully make about 20K next month. Another guy, Sammy Kassar, he's 18 years old, just literally just started college, and he collected 6K in cash, 16K in rev, and then 50% in profit, which puts him at over a 10K month within his first month. Gus made 7K from his one client in less than 30 days, almost a 10K month. John did 2 deals in 1 day, which is pretty big creators. And so that should make him at least 10K a month minimum. You guys know that. I'm not bullshitting. 90K on IG, make money niche, and then a 200K on IG creator on 20%. And then we got Shanghai. He closed another small whale, just crazy, 160K on IG. It's massive. Decent setup. Adam Hurst, his first month in, he closed his 9th client, which is just insane. I don't even know what to say about this guy. He's been going crazy. 4K, 4,500, or I guess that's like 5K cash up front on his 9th client. This dude, I don't even know what he did. It's like 30, 40K his first month. And then Shanghai again, another creator on 30% rev share. Gus booked 7 calls straight off ads. Just, I don't know, dude. It's one of those things where if you come in here and you give it 25% and you implement the things that I told you guys to implement on this call, come in, you do your outreach and you stick to it, you will make 10K in your first month in the online business space. If you need help doing so, but you know that you're honestly hungry and you're not just here to waste time, you can go ahead and DM me on Instagram. It should be linked down in the bio. But yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing a bunch of guys in the comments saying, hey, I just made my first 10K a month. And I'll honestly laugh. I think it's very hilarious how a lot of young guys, 18, 19, 20, 25. We even have a guy, Luke Panko, who just signed his second client. He's 33. In this community, just printing cash out this business model because it's so new, so fresh. and it just works. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below. If you like this video and you want to see a little bit more higher value kind of stuff, go ahead and subscribe. I know that I'm kind of tired. It's been a long day, so I'm stuttering and just probably not making sense, but that's what I got for you guys. I'm gonna bounce. I gotta get to bed, and we'll talk soon. Peace.